Right, just to revise what we looked at in today's live stream, comparing it to what we were looking for yesterday, many of the moves that we anticipated play out exactly as we were anticipating. Looking at US indices, at the DAX, at oil, at euro, at Aussie, like basically most of them played out as we're looking. The N pairs after the BLG. So again, you had BLG remained the same, the rates, nothing new in there. And then you had core PC in the US, 0.3%, slightly higher than anticipated. Unemployment claims coming out at 200k. Again, back into this range of 200. And tomorrow, of course, we have NFP, which is going to be quite important. So those in terms of the catalysts that we had today. But looking at the dollar index, what we've been looking for is for dollar index to start breaking to the downside and to see more bearishness. All right, so we finally broke this structure. That's how I'm going to be positioning, is to try to see more selling opportunities tomorrow during the NFP. I could still see a deep retracement. If price does want to do that, you can perhaps have a deep retracement to the upside before moving to the downside, but price could actually just move all the way through without that deep retracement. So those are basically the two scenarios in here: a potential deep retracement or price just falling from where it is, which then looking at euro dollar and so on is quite the opposite. Now, pound dollar made a really big move to the downside. Price is now reacting from this interesting level on the left side, this daily demand zone. So there was a lot of space that price had to fill, and that was also our bias throughout these last few days. On the euro dollar is the opposite. We can see that this may be already the low, and we have called that already for the last few days, and price can actually start moving. It actually reached one of the first targets that we're looking for. There's perhaps more upside that you can look as well. Euro pound as well, it reached the initial target that we have been looking for in the bigger picture, so we can actually start seeing a little bit of a move to the downside on the euro pound and move to the upside on the pound dollar. Even the other pound pairs as well, we're looking at the pound Aussie, pound yen, and so on. It looks like that the lows are reacting from an interesting level, so we could see a little bit of strength for tomorrow's session on the pound. Looking at again Aussie dollar, New Zealand as well, we are looking still for those longs. We talked about that scenario, the specific pattern where most likely Aussie dollar could still respect the lows and go higher, basically create a double bottom, and the opposite on New Zealand, where it could have a new low just because of specific pattern that was being created, so creating a new low before actually making another leg to the upside, and that's exactly how the market played out. Looking at the yen index and the yen pairs, like we had BOG and we're looking for longs. We've been looking for longs for quite a while from this level, right? So we're anticipating price to come back to this level before moving to the upside. So even last week when price was still creating this low, we mentioned that we would like to see a new leg down before price moving to the upside, and it looks like that's playing out like that, which means that we're looking for shorts on euro yen, dollar yen, pound yen, and so on. Now there's more room to the upside in here. All right, I could see eventually price to fill this range. There's still a few levels that price can retest to the downside before moving upwards, but that's a little bit of the range now that I'm looking for the the yen index to fill. Euro index, that was another one that we looked for. This was another basically chart of the week where we had this big momentum, and this helped predict that momentum on mostly of the euro pairs. We look at euro Aussie and so on. So euro Aussie, euro CAD, euro pound, and so on. We're looking for that momentum, even euro dollar, and it played out exactly. And now price is approaching this level, which may start eventually looking for some weakness on some of those euro pairs. Just to also to mention about the euro Aussie, that we have looking for that move to the upside and potential reaction from that high. Price reacted exactly as anticipated, and if the Aussie dollar is actually about to turn out to the upside, this can be a great level for the euro Aussie to start moving to the downside. So perhaps you may have an opportunity as well in there. Looking at the indices, what a move, right? Again, if you guys recall, this was exactly the move. We identified the break to the downside. We saw a lot of space. This was a prediction that we've been looking for already for the last few days, and price today, which we just feel all that move. Like everything was compressed, so no surprise that when you have a strong compression, price can just move quite quickly, pass through all of those levels, eventually to get into the next level, which was exactly this. And now it's one of the two scenarios, right? Either price respects this level, it starts finding some bullishness and goes to the upside from here, or price is going to break this low and starts opening more space for price to eventually move further down. It doesn't mean that price will just follow through completely. Price can break this low and start moving to the upside, but it starts opening that door, which means that in the future, looking for more bearish moves in here on the S&P. Nasdaq doing exactly the same thing, like filling that range that we have been looking for. So initially this low didn't even reacted from. Price went all the way to react from the last fresh level that was created still at the highs back in July, and now price basically made that move. So we're looking for that as well, for price to fill all that space, and this is a potential move that can happen tomorrow. It's the same thing as the S&P to see if price actually respects this level and goes up, or if it starts breaking it, it starts opening a door for the Nasdaq to go much further down as well. Again, the earnings haven't been that bad. Actually, they've been quite positive, even yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't really know now what the numbers are for Apple and Amazon. I didn't look at it, but it was quite strange that with such a good news, or kind of at least positive earnings, we have such a strong bearish move in here, right? So usually we don't really want to see positive news in terms of earnings or data, and all of a sudden a negative reaction from the market. We don't want to see that. That can be a little bit of a concern, which means that maybe can have further move to downside. We'll see. Dow Jones as well just continues to move to downside. This is the next level that you're looking for. We had this pattern also identified since last week that you're looking for shorts and price basically paying out. And this is basically the trade of the week. We already had DAX, like anticipating on Monday to look for shorts from those highs. We had identified the break to the downside and price reaches the field range. Again, similar to the other indices, basically it's interesting that now all those indices are reacting from good levels. Basically they feel the range, they feel the target that we were looking for. And now one of the two things are going to happen. Either price breaks the level and again opens the door for potential further move to downside, or it starts respecting and it starts moving to the upside. So one of those two scenarios are going to play out in here. But again, the initial move that we were looking for in the beginning of this week, it played out really, really nice. And this is when you can start anticipating proper swing move or looking for a bigger target. Like it's when you have such a strong compression, you have a clear break and you have a lot of space that price eventually can fill. What you cannot control is how quick the move is going to happen. Like in this case, it was quite quick. Basically in 2 days, price made the move that it took kind of more than a week to play out. Right? So that's the power of compression as well. And this is what the market can provide in here. So that's really nice. Bitcoin finding some resistance and Ethereum actually with even a stronger move to downside after reacting from the highs. We'll see what's going to happen around this level as well. Gold actually made a strong move to downside. We'll see if this is actually to sustain or if price is going to find more bullishness. Silver as well. We had identified also that break of a low in price today falling through, also getting closer to that next level. And dollar CAD still at the highs. I still want to see price faking out the highs first before we can for sure. So I'm still going to be patient on that one. And what else? Oil basically filling the range, right? Apparently there was some news just 1 hour ago that potentially Iran is planning another attack against Israel, and we had that move to the upside, basically price filling that range. So again, for tomorrow, potential shorts on the dollar, potential more longs on the Aussie pound and so on. So we'll see if that's going to happen. Indices, again, curious to see how price may react from this level. And yeah, it's a bit of waiting to see what's going to happen as well with NFP. So that's basically it. Tomorrow is Friday, so enjoy your last day of the week. Even if you had a positive week or a negative week, just stay disciplined within your own trading. With that being said, guys, I'll see you again on Sunday. If you are new, feel free to subscribe, feel free to join, feel free to share any trading ideas that you have for us to analyze the market together. With that being said, thank you very much, guys. We got